Why are there so many countries in Northwest Africa, but so few in South America? So South America is, of course, this continent here. It consists of 12 countries, as well as French Guiana and overseas Department of France. The continent is absolutely massive. It covers an area of nearly 18 million kilometers squared. This makes the average South American country some 1.5 million kilometers squared. Of course, that's not how it actually works, though. Countries like Suriname are relatively small at 163,000 kilometers squared, whereas its neighbor Brazil is some 8.5 million kilometers squared, some 52 times larger. The term West Africa is used quite loosely, but the countries that are generally considered to be part of this region are these countries here, 19 in total. This region encompasses an area of around 6 million kilometers squared, yet it includes 19 countries. So although 3 times smaller than South America, there are 7 more countries. Now why am I comparing these 2 regions out of all the regions on Earth? Well, both South America and West Africa were colonized by Europeans. So combining these 2 regions, there are around 31 countries in total. However, there is actually one country found within this region that was never colonized. Can you guess which country it was? It's quite a tough one. There isn't really any easy logical answer, as it is in fact Liberia, and Ethiopia, found in East Africa, are the only 2 African countries to never have been colonized. But anyways, getting back to the topic on hand, if both of these regions were colonized by Europeans, why does South America have far fewer countries? Yet it is significantly larger. Well, it is of course super complicated, and there are many factors. But the main reason is that South America was primarily colonized by the Spanish and Portuguese. The Dutch, French, and British also had tiny slices in what is known as Suriname, French Guiana, and Guyana. But these 3 countries only take up a tiny amount of the continent, whereas the Spanish pretty much own the west of the continent and the Portuguese the east. Hence why today Brazil speaks Portuguese and the rest of South America speaks Spanish. When South American territories gained independence, they formed fewer countries due to various factors like ongoing conflicts and geographical barriers, such as mountainous regions, deserts, and of course the world's largest rainforest, the Amazon. The reason why West Africa has so many countries, and why there are so many countries with straight-line borders, is again down to historical colonial powers. These colonial powers were France, Britain, Portugal, Germany, and Belgium. So there were more players fighting over who owns what in this region. The colonial powers then divided the land they'd taken and established new colonies. These new colonies then became independent new countries. Once these newly formed countries became independent of their colonizers, there were then many internal divisions and conflicts. This led to secessionist movements, which then ultimately led to the creation of more countries. Europeans are no strangers to the scenario just mentioned. That is the conquering of countries, conflicts, and dividing up countries. Throughout history, Europe has changed drastically in terms of who owns what and which countries do or do not exist. This has led to modern-day Europe looking like this. It is the most dense place on Earth in terms of the amount of countries. In just this circle, here you may have a dozen or so countries, and if you count the 4 countries within the UK, even more. So to summarize, South America was mainly colonized by 2 powers, whereas West Africa by several. Geography, internal conflicts, and political instability then led to West Africa breaking up into more countries than what South America did. The Amazon rainforest also provides an almost impenetrable shield, separating Brazil from its western neighbors, ultimately leading to less countries being formed. For more geography content, consider subscribing. And as always, thank you so much for watching.